This episode of Two Guys Who Dive recorded live Saturday, 5 July 2014, episode 107. Challenging, but worth it. Well, welcome once again to another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive, and I am your host, Rob Wade, and I'm joined by...
Robert Garza.
Hey. So it's been a while since we've been online, live, and broadcasting because we've had a number of things coming up. Of course, we did share with everybody in the last episode, 106, that we would not have one the following week,
Right.
Because we were headed up to Killeen to do our recertification for visual inspection.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun trip.
It was never a dull moment.
And unfortunately, you didn't get me the pictures, so I could show some of the pictures.
Because it wasn't at the dive shop, it was more of an intimate type training. I didn't want to
yes,
take
it
photos.
It was intimate.
Yeah.
Well, you took some pictures.
Yeah, I took a couple of
the
them.
road trip part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the road trip part was pretty cool. That the Iron Bull we saw was pretty interesting.
Yes,
that was cool. Never a dull moment, I gotta honestly say, during these road trips. I gotta tell you,
it was fun though.
It was
fun. But yeah, that was kind of odd. You know, the person that we were doing our recertification with, he basically decided he'd had enough of operating a brick and mortar business, since he was doing a lot of the stuff. He was doing the same job basically. But didn't need to go through all the challenges of owning a brick and mortar or leasing a brick and mortar and having all that to deal with. So he decided to shift to doing it basically a home business, which is cool.
Yeah.
You definitely save a lot in the overhead because, he's got his mortgage payment. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was kind of odd. We were like, following the GPS to get around to, okay, it's a residence for sure. Nice place.
Very nice, yeah.
And they were, matter of fact, he was kind of in a rush to get us done and out the door because he and his wife were headed out for a camping trip over the weekend.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. I mean, always Chris Mendoza, nice gentleman, Dr. Chris Mendoza.
Doctor, yeah.
I always give him respect as doctor.
Absolutely.
But pretty cool that he's still doing exactly the same thing he was doing, but now he's just doing it out of his house, which is cool.
Yeah, not bad at all. We didn't have nearly the incidents that we had last time.
No.
As far as, managers bursting in, female managers bursting into the men's bathroom to yell at their kid. That I was like, okay, enough of that. But it was a fun trip. No, I mean, the weather was good.
The weather was
cool.
good, yeah. There was the embankment at the motel, though.
The embankment. It wasn't an embankment, it was a curb. I parked closer to it than I thought I was. And you crank the wheel, rode up on the curb. I was like, he called it an embankment. It was a curb.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Silly.
And then we walked into
the
room incident. The room incident.
Yeah.
They went ahead and we checked in. They gave Robert the key and everything, and sure enough, we go up to the third floor, I believe.
By the way, I think I think it's fair to share that this was a La Quinta.
Yes, it
so
was.
So I warn you.
Yeah, be careful when you walk in. If the bed's undone, you see somebody's shoes on the floor. That probably means that they gave you a key by mistake to somebody else's room, which is what they did.
It's a good thing we didn't walk in on somebody in the midst of something.
Yeah,
that would have been really bad. But it looked like they were still there, just not in the room at the time.
I think they had probably gone to the pool or something.
Yeah.
It
was bad. I was like, no, not on this trip.
Never fails. Always something.
Yep. So, happy Independence Day, everybody. Yesterday was, of course, July 4th. What'd you guys do?
Nothing. Really nothing.
Nothing at all?
No, we just pretty much.
You didn't do. I mean, because the parade was down in your end of town.
Right. We kind of slept in, and then we saw the parade, and there wasn't really that
slept in means what?
Like like the parade is what woke us up.
10 o'clock. 10 was it 10 o'clock?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's not bad. I mean, it's a holiday.
Yeah, so we kind of
Like a weekend day.
Then we all got up, went to go eat, and then that's when we had just seen you, right? Yeah, we had just seen you. We were gonna go to Sirloin when we saw.
Yeah, but that was like late in the afternoon.
Okay, well that's when we had.
Because that was like, I thought you're going to Sirloin. That was like either a late lunch or an early dinner kind of thing.
It was late lunch.
Yeah,
that's what it was. It was like 2:00. 2:30 around there.
Like that,
yeah. So
cool.
But no, everything went well.
So did you watch the fireworks thing or what?
We were actually in transit. We were driving to pick up. I had one of my sons watching, the little one, Aiden, watching the fireworks with his aunt, and then my other son was over here at the Buena Vista swimming pool at a party. So it was over at 10.
Because our church actually rented more park pool.
Oh, okay.
So our church had that pool.
All right, cool. Well, we went over to the Buena Vista pool, and we were picking him up, and we were on our way back when the fireworks were over, and they seemed like they finished quick, like 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we really didn't notice. Tara and I actually, of course, we don't do fireworks. It's just not our thing. It's definitely not the thing for our dogs. They just don't. They're not hip to that at all. It just freaks them out. And of course, everybody was firing off fireworks in town, which you're not supposed to do. And they heard them, and they just were shaking and whining the whole time. That poor things. But then we saw on the Facebook page for A Pet's Wish, which we volunteer, Tara and I volunteer every Monday evening, and we saw that there was a call for all hands on deck because they had John, who is one of the operators of the shelter. He's basically wheelchair bound.
Mm-hmm.
And so he really can't do a lot. He does a lot of the administrative stuff and communicating with everybody, organizing. And he said there was nobody there to help feed, water the dogs, cats, and then put everybody, because everybody stays outside for the most part during the day, unless there's health issues, and then bring them in at night, put them to bed and everything. There was nobody to help. Well, then he subsequently sent out that there was somebody scheduled that had said they would come in at 7:30, but it was just going to be the one person. They have a lot of dogs and cats there right now because a lot of people are abandoning or otherwise neglecting their dogs and cats. So Tara and I were like, well, we'll see if we can get there, get everybody taken care of, put away before the fireworks so that we get back in time to keep our poor little ones under control. And so we got out there, and the person who we've worked with a few times before was there, had already got a large part of it done. But we jumped in, of course, flew into our routine, and we were able to get everybody taken care of, put away, just before everything started. So then we hightailed it back to the house. So that was our 4th of July, is we were volunteering at A Pet's Wish.
Well, it's a noble cause,
Yeah.
noble reason.
Yeah, they really they need so much help. I just can't stress enough, folks. If you live in the Del Rio area and you care about animals at all, and you can just give up a morning or an evening a week or every 2 weeks, something like that. Become a regular volunteer. If you just can't get, and it's a couple of 3 hours and you're done, and you help out some animals that are desperately in need. And if you don't fall in love with a few of them, you're just not human. But also, if you can't donate your time, they really need donations of money and supplies. If you go to their Facebook page, A Pet's Wish, you'll see a number of things that they put up there on a regular basis of particular food that they need. Lots of kitty litter, lots of paper towels, bleach, dishwashing liquid, the training pads, because the way their cages are set up, there's trays underneath most of them that slide out, and so you put these pads underneath it, and it helps keep things cleaner.
Right,
it's easier to clean up afterwards if they do make a mess. So they really could use a lot of help. So, folks, please, if you're in the Del Rio area, I encourage you to help out some way. It really would be best if people could just volunteer a little bit of time. But I think Tara and I are pretty much the only consistent regulars now.
Wow.
We, Monday night, 6 o'clock is our thing. That's the time that we can give. And, on occasion we're able to help out on a weekend or something. But we're the only ones now, I think, that are consistent every week that we go and help. I said that's pretty much all we can guarantee you, but we will be consistent, we'll be thorough, and help out. So definitely, if you're in the Del Rio area, please consider helping those folks out. So that was my 4th of July, and so you guys had a pretty you didn't do any like the barbecue thing or anything?
No, I like
we did. So
I like cooking out, but it's more of a just a spontaneous thing. I'll just wake up and say, you know what, I want to barbecue.
Me too. Me too.
I'm not like, let's have a barbecue and then invite everybody over and then I have a big party or whatever. No, that's not my thing. My brother-in-law loves doing that. In fact, he's coming down tomorrow and he's going to do that, and it always turns into this big production.
Now, what do you mean big production?
Well, the thing is that he doesn't come down often. He lives in Eagle Pass. He works for the tribal police department. And when he comes down, it's usually because he's got a day off, and which is very rare.
Wear the feathers and all that?
Yeah.
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
So when he comes down, he calls everybody and his friends and everybody.
Block party at Robert's house.
Well, no, it's not at my house. It's at his mom's house. And even at that, Sandy was asking me today. She was like, "Do you want him to come over to our house?" I was like, "Heck no," because then there's going to be people there I don't know. He invites a lot of his friends and stuff, and everybody just goes over and has a grand old time.
All your rowdy friends, as that the song says.
So. But no, for me, it's more of just a spontaneous type thing. I like just doing it and let's go, and that's it. Yeah.
So, kind of backtracking a little bit. Have you gotten your certificate yet for the renewal of our? No, me neither. I'm like, boy, I hope that doesn't. I mean, we're good till August, but still, that's less than a month away.
I'm a little concerned because he had said about the test and stuff like that. Yeah. When we submitted the test,
the refresher test was a little bit hokey as far as some of the ambivalence of the questions. I'm like,
I really was okay. I knew some of them. Some of them we learned that day, and some were like,
for the update stuff. Yeah.
I hadn't even really heard it, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
What? Don't worry about it. I mean, the thing is, we know what to look for. So for the visual inspections, but I did order a bunch more stickers, so I was almost out. Are you still good?
Yeah, actually, I still have some.
Okay, cool.
But like on my tanks, I need to get them hydroed, so that would be my.
Oh, really? It's that time again.
That time.
Yep. So movie reviews. Tara and I went to see this weekend Transformers: Age of Extinction. And I have to say, Tara and I both walked out and felt this was the best one of all of them. We really like Mark Wahlberg. Although his characters tend to be pretty much the same type of character, he's consistently solid in them, and I really liked the way his character was written for this movie. Interesting, kind of younger dad kind of thing, the teenage daughter, and the machinations the teenage daughters will exact upon their single father, and some pretty cool stuff. The CGI was fantastic as always. But I really like the overall storyline better. I can't stand Shia LaBeouf or however he pronounces his name. Of course, he's in jail or rehab or something now.
He's in a lot of issues right now with drinking.
Yeah. I was never impressed with him in anything he did. I watched the Transformer movies in spite of his annoying acting. But this one was, to me, and I'm pretty sure that Tara said the same, almost exact same thing. This is far and away better than the other Transformer movies. So
Even the first one?
Yes, absolutely,
Really?
absolutely. So you went to see it after how many tries?
Like four tries, 4 attempts. Finally, the fourth, was successful.
And we got in, and there was plenty of seats.
Well,
It's
then
so
again,
funny.
we tried to see it on the day that it first came
Yeah.
out, and we would have seen it on that the what is it the midnight preview
yeah.
or whatever. The only problem is the movie camera broke, and
Gosh.
so
Welcome to Del Rio.
they gave us rain checks. Then we tried back the following day, sold out, and then finally, I think it was the third day we went and touchdown.
So so all of you went to see it?
Yes, everyone.
Okay, so starting with you, what was your opinion of it?
I agree with you in every aspect of your review. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It was good. I liked it better than the third. What was it? How many are there now? 2, 3.
This is the fourth, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The third one, where they destroyed Chicago and all that.
Right.
Okay. It was a little much for me. Okay. It was.
Yeah.
I think it went over the top.
Yeah.
This one was more. They were fighting and stuff like that, but it didn't go too crazy, even though they were in China.
Mm-hmm.
So they did destroy some buildings, but it didn't go crazy like destroying the whole town.
Yeah.
That was like insane. The first and the second one, I like the first one. I always like the first movies of everything.
Really?
Usually, if I like the first one, and they're gonna make like sequels to it, the second one has to be pretty good, to outdo the first one. This one, the first Transformer, I liked it. The second one was okay. The third one was like, to me, it was like, okay, that was just too much.
Yeah.
This one, I really enjoyed. I mean, even though it was long, it didn't seem like I was in the theater for that long.
3 hours.
Yeah, right. It didn't seem like I was in the theater for 3 hours because I was really entertained. So that made. That was good.
Yeah, Tara had to get up and go potty at one point. She just couldn't hold it back.
Well, like Aiden, my little one, he was like, "Dad, I gotta go." I was like, "What? Hold it." No, but
now.
we win. So it was good. I really enjoyed it. 10. I gave it a 10.
Okay. So how about Sandy?
She liked it. She's not much of a 3D movie goer.
Oh, okay.
So we saw it in 3D.
Yeah, we did too.
She enjoyed it. She did like it, but I didn't ask her to rate the movie. But if she says she liked it, then that's pretty much she liked it.
Okay. And the boys?
Oh, they enjoyed it. Yeah, they were
Cuckoo
like,
for
this was
Cocoa
awesome.
Puffs, huh?
Yeah, right after the movie, Aiden wanted to go to Walmart because he wanted to buy Bumblebee.
Oh, really?
I want Bumblebee.
I liked the upgrade for Bumblebee.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, sweet. We're looking at, of course, replacing the Mustang, or we have a 2002 Mustang, and I want to get something a little bit newer, kind of as our last vehicle, hopefully, as I start looking at retirement as a possibility. And while I would love to have another Camaro, because I've had 2, I would love to have another Camaro, but the fact of the matter is, for comparing the Camaro SS and the like a 2011 Camaro SS and a Mustang GT, similar equipment. The used Camaro is $2,000 to $4,000 more expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, and the thing is, the opening of the trunk, when you actually lift the trunk lid, the opening is so small compared to the Mustang. I can't confidently easily get my keyboard for church in and out of there. I'd have to bring it in through the passenger compartment,
right.
lower the seats, and bring it in that way. Whereas with the current Mustang, or with the Mustang that we have now, and the newer ones, there's enough of a dip in the back when you lift open the trunk that it's pretty easy to slide it straight in when you lower the seats.
Oh, okay.
Don't have that with the Camaro. But I tell you, I saw that the tricked out one. I was like, man, I'd have to seriously reconsider. I might have to say, okay, I'll suck it up and shove it through the passenger
door.
compartment if it looks like that. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome. It was, there was a one part in the movie where, they had gone to the farm and they were going to kill the girl.
Right.
And then when Optimus just comes out and just starts, come on. And, that is just so cool. I love that.
That was awesome. That was a
and
great
then when he's
scene.
cruising and he scans that other truck and he just starts to transform. I love that.
Look at everybody's face when they're in the vehicle
they're
as
like,
it's happening. Like, whoa.
That was awesome.
A little unsettling, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a little unsettling, but it was awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, were there any other movies that you've seen since last we got together you want to talk about?
No, negative. I haven't seen anything.
You going to go see Earth to Echo? Because that's on this weekend.
I hadn't planned on it.
That's guaranteed to be a favorite with the kids.
I think that's going to be
this generation's E.T.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see if probably. I don't want to say yes. I'm going to go see it, but we'll probably end up going to take Aiden since we're going to be off.
Yeah.
Here coming up pretty soon, so
Right.
I'll probably go to see that.
Cool. Nice.
Yep.
All right, let's see what else we got. So that's the movie reviews. Since last we got together, I mentioned in the last episode that we had settled on a vehicle to replace the rodeo that we showed you pictures of the rollover that my wife was in. And we did make the purchase, so we do have our it's new to us, 2011 Nitro, Dodge Nitro. Very happy with it. It's comfortable. It's got actually a little bit tighter suspension than even the rodeo. And it seems like it's a little bit higher off the ground, which is okay. I've had the opportunity now because I taught a class last weekend.
Correct.
To tow the trailer around. Not too bad. I still prefer towing with a standard. There's the feel of control of what you're doing, where you're going with a standard that I feel separated from driving an automatic, especially with a trailer. Now, the Nitro that we have has a tow haul button, which basically affects the transmission and it allows it to work better ratios, I guess, for handling a trailer.
Yeah.
So, and I could tell the difference when I activated that versus when I don't activate it. So definitely it's one of those things where when we're out on the open road and it's fairly flat, probably run with it off because it's more fuel efficient.
Right.
But as well as I do, on the trips going to Balmaray State Park, that is a lot of up and down, pretty hefty hills there. So going with the tow haul button for that part of the trip is definitely going to be a requirement.
Speaking of which, we need to get dates or plans to get up there.
Yes. As a matter of fact, because the two families that just got finished teaching, they're interested in joining us for at least one of the trips up there. So we need to get that rolling.
That'll be awesome too. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're in West Texas, Southwest Texas, and you've not been to Balmaray State Park, I can't tell you what you're missing. I mean, it is phenomenal and very easy, comfortable area, shallow water. You've seen videos if you've watched the program anytime at all of what it's like there. But yeah, I think with the Nitro it'll be a comfortable trip up there. It's a little bit wider. I can actually take we're in the rodeo. I can take my big M Audio keyboard, which is huge and heavy. If I set it in the back seat, I had to make sure that I lifted it up as I closed the door because it was a little bit longer than the rodeo was wide.
Oh, okay.
So it would sit kind of leaned up against the door. Whereas it sits nicely on the seat with just a hair to spare in the Nitro. So the Nitro is a little bit wider. So again, we're generally happy with it. Tara is very happy since she's the primary driver on it. So next it's my turn.
Yeah.
Get another Mustang.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Let's see. Tech news. Got a couple things. Looks like now the official Windows Phone 8.1 update is starting to roll. See, I don't do that to you. But it's starting to roll, so it'll be staged across with depending on what the carriers are doing. So for those of us who've been running the developer preview, it's not a big thing except for those of us with the Lumia devices. We're also getting a firmware update as part of that. So actually, we'll get additional enhancements that'll come, optimizations, if you will, for the hardware on top of the final version of Windows Phone 8.1. Let's see. Also, I have pre-ordered my i3 version of the Surface Pro 3. So it's supposed to ship August 1st, according to the website. Now, it's going to be interesting because we're heading off on our trip that following weekend.
Wow.
So I'm hoping it's going to arrive here before we go on our trip. Otherwise, I'm going to have my neighbors watch for delivery. But I did get the actual keyboard already. Because obviously those are available because Microsoft has already had the i5 version of the Surface Pro. And so obviously the touch, the type cover for it is available, and it fits on all of the versions of the Surface Pro 3 or the Surface 3, Surface Pro 3, same difference as far as hardware, physical dimensions. And of course, I had to get it in my favorite color, purple. And it kind of nice. It works nicely with our lower third there too.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, this thing is wafer thin.
Mm-hmm.
That is wafer thin. I love the feel of the keyboard on that thing.
Oh yeah.
It's got a nice tactile response.
Oh
so,
yeah. This thing's gonna get some workout.
It is. It's good. It is gonna get some workout.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that it has a little pin thing here. So.
And it's an optional thing. I mean, it came as a separate piece. It's simply adhesive there. So I could choose not to have it on there, but obviously since I'm going to use the pen, I thought, well, I better stick it on there.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm pleased with it. So I've got a keyboard in search of a tablet to go with it. So there you have it. My purple type cover for my Surface Pro 3. That would be nice to be able to take it on the trip with me. For sure, I'm going to take the laptop, though, because I'm going to do the podcast. Hopefully, we've got really good Wi-Fi in the resort that we're staying at. So if that's the case, you folks will be able to check us out. Check out the podcast for that Saturday we arrive. So that's going to be cool.
Awesome.
Yep. So let's see now. And also, evidently, OEMs are just like coming out of the woodwork to start doing Windows phones. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it's not in small part due to the fact that Microsoft basically said Windows operating system, phone or the PC type, free on devices 10-inch or smaller.
Free
for OEMs. You know, obviously they were charging whatever amount they were.
Yeah.
For the OEMs to actually install the operating system per device. Basically, it's either 10 inches or smaller than 10 inches.
Oh, okay.
But so basically, the mini tablets free.
Wow.
Phones free. So now you've got, companies I've not heard of, but are evidently very, very popular in other segments of the world, who have been doing tons of the Android. Mm-hmm. They're now like, okay, cool, let's get in the Windows.
Well, bandwagon. And I think that was a big problem is like anything else. Mac or Apple, they produce their own products. They produce their own, their own
I don't consider that a problem, though.
Yeah, and that's their thing. They do their own
Cradle to grave, right.
Right, but like that, we've discussed this before, as far as Microsoft, it's a software company. It's not a device, they don't make devices or anything until just recently.
Right.
But for the most part, they only focused on the software aspect of it, but that's where their bread and butter was. They made money off the sale of their OS. It's cool that they're now going to offer it free because now that means hopefully we can get rid of all those Android devices.
That ain't gonna happen.
Well,
Because people like to customize the heck out of those things, but
Well, you never know. Maybe perhaps here in the near future, you'll be able to do the same with. No, you know what? I don't think so because you give up a lot of security.
that's the thing.
You know,
You don't have to worry about getting hacked on an iPhone, and you don't have to worry about getting hacked on a Windows phone. But evidently, like 40%, I was reading the other day, 40% of Android devices have some sort of malware on them.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I read somewhere that a bunch were coming out of the manufacturers, out of the OEMs already with malware on them. Before you even touch the device, already has. I'm like, why would you want a device that you're already saying, kick me? I don't get it. Just don't get it. So anyway, now Apple, on the other hand, they're gearing up. Of course, lots of leaks going on.
Right.
For what's coming down the pike for them. Of course, a lot of cases and shells are kind of hinting at the dimensions of the next iPhone. I know a lot of folks have really been checking out the iOS 8 developer preview. Have you tried that out?
Yes, I have.
And
it's well, since I don't really mess with that too much, kind of just been tweaking at it a little
now
bit.
you got it on your phone or your?
No, I have it actually on my iPad.
Okay.
It's for me, when you mess with the developers stuff, it's still not
Ready for prime time.
Right. So you constantly have to email these people and tell them, well, you know what, I experienced this problem. And then
that's good though. I mean, that's the value.
And then they send you back an email with like a link to fix something, or they'll send you like a
special update patch or something.
A patch or something. So my phone just it updated the other day, and it was funny because it pushed out to my phone, my son's phone, my wife's phone, and so we're like, what was this? And it was actually supposedly just for me. But since their phones are associated with my account, it updated their phones, which was cool. It didn't affect anything. But I did notice when you're scrolling across on the iPad with the 8, it was lagging. Now, I thought it was probably because the 8 is designed for the new chip that's going to be coming out.
Right.
Okay. So
now I did see that you're not going to be able to install it on, is it the iPhone 4 and older or 4S and older?
No, it's you can install it on the 4S, but not on the iPhone 4.
Okay.
So the 4S is already getting pushed out of the pack already.
Yeah.
So and my son Brandon, he's got an iPhone 4S, and it's still, and even with that update, it didn't do anything to it. So
good.
But I did notice that after that update, now it's
helping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now it's
Good.
back to normal. I can't tell. So I haven't really seen anything else.
Cool.
Now the other part on the preview is the design for the apps. Now, of course, a lot of it I do believe was for the retinal display on the iPads.
Yeah.
Well, I have an older version of the iPad too, so I don't have the retina display, so I couldn't tell whether or not that
it made an improvement.
Right. I couldn't tell at all.
Darn.
But I'm sure it did.
Now, the latest numbers show that Apple has jumped up a little bit in the U.S., and now it is retaking the lead as the number one OEM. So as far as hardware is concerned, now they went to 41.9%. So congratulations.
Yeah, they're moving. And I think with the new products that are coming out, I just read yesterday, or was it this morning? I read yesterday that they just snagged one of the old CEOs or one of the guys from Tag Heuer, the Swiss manufacturer watch company. They're in leagues like with Rolex and all of that.
Uh-huh.
Well, they hired that guy, and they're trying to get somebody else from what the article read.
I think that's tying into the smartwatches.
It's going to tie into the smartwatches because what they want to do is, according to an Apple rep, is they want to have the title Swiss made on their watches, on these watches, because
they're hiring a Swede.
Well, they're designing the watch actually, with incorporating with, of course, the Apple engineers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really they're gonna build it and they're gonna fix it. So they're trying to get all a bunch of Swedish watchmakers. Yeah. So
wow,
pretty interesting.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yep, it'll be interesting. This holiday season is going to be very, very
Saturated.
very saturated with all sorts of tech stuff because supposedly the next and I don't know what to think about this. A Microsoft rep on Chris Pirillo's show revealed, and this could have been totally a red herring to throw everybody off or just BS, or it could be real, but he was saying that there is something that's going to throw the entire market on its ear coming from Microsoft. He said, I don't have a date. I can't get into specifics. And Chris was like trying to yank it out of him. He said, no, I can't say anything other than he said, I was shocked we could even do this. He said, when I first saw it, he said, I asked him, is this real? We can do this?
Wow.
And they were like, yes. And that's it. So I don't know if this is, a lot of companies have this overblown hype thing that they do is like, this is going to revolutionize it. And then it turns out it's like, really? It's a better display? That's not revolutionary. Evolutionary maybe, but not revolutionary. Yeah. But so this could be totally grain of salt. But the hint is that it's going to be tied into leading up to the convergence of the WinRT and the Windows Phone into a single operating system. So on devices 10 inches and bigger, it would be the operating system that a version of the operating system that we're already familiar with tablets and desktops. Smaller, it would be this merged thing that works on phone and phablets and mini tablets kind of thing. So, but the speculation is that it's going to be something that works with that's going to be leading into that. It's going to be some new hardware thing. But matter of fact, Chris asked, he said, is it hardware or software? And he said yes.
So it's hardware.
So it's a combination thing. So I'm thinking holiday season's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, they're hinting from what I've read on the emails that they've sent me, and they're not disclosing anything,
obviously, but
just some of the hints as far as the developer portion of it.
Right.
The thing that I got is they're tying a lot of the apps that they're doing, like all of the heart stuff now, all of the health kick thing, but they're also integrating a lot of the like for the home automation type thing.
Yep.
For like the lights, the thermostats, the door locks that are now available to where I can lock the door with a deadbolt, electronically with my phone. That's iOS driven. So a lot of that was in there, but I didn't mess with it. So I'm thinking there's going to be a big push for that because the
Microsoft the same thing because they just bought that company that's big in the home automation market, and of course it worked. We use we have Vivint alarm systems here, but it's also home automation. So they have this using the Z-Wave technology, which I love that stuff. We can remotely from our phones or from a computer, from anything, we can control our thermostat, we can control our arming our system, etc. And you could add cameras, you can add all this other stuff. And I'm like, roll this in. And since they've bought this company, I'm thinking, okay, it's just a matter of time before they roll this into the Windows operating system and the Xbox. And that's what I'm liking. Yeah. I want to be able to get up and just tell the system stay in the middle of my house and say, arm the system or change the temperature. That is where I want to go with all this.
Yeah. And like right now, of course, I have the same thing with my phone too. I control the thermostat. I turn on the lights on and off in my room, in my house.
Now, what system are you using in your house?
I'm actually going through my mind went blank. The one here locally.
So it's
Century
not
Security.
So
Century Security. But they use the the software that I'm using on my phone it's not theirs. It's a company that's actually monitoring. Let me see if I can tell you what it is.
Is it Home Safe or something like that? Because that's pretty popular too.
I'll tell you what it is real quick. It's called alarm.com or alarmcom.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same system. That's the same interface that we use.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's the same one. They're using the same one. So, yeah, and it's pretty cool because
I love it.
Like I can control my lights or whenever.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and set the away as far as for my thermostat when I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
So, and I can actually turn it off. So it's actually pretty cool. So that's the one that
cool stuff
that we use.
All right. So in some interesting oceanic sea diving news, a 7-foot great white bit a long distance swimmer off Manhattan Beach in California shortly after a fisherman hooked it and was wrestling with it for 30 minutes. I guess pissed the shark off and decided, I'm going for the first thing I see floating.
You know what?
And there was these distance swimmers.
You've been jerking me around for 30 minutes. I'm going to eat something.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. So that's, see, you just don't see that happen every day. But luckily it wasn't life-threatening injuries. He was just like, I'm just going to gnaw on you. Just just sink my teeth in a little bit. So fortunately nobody was killed or lost any limbs or anything. But, and then there's a lot of weird stuff going on. California is weird anyway, but a blue whale capsized a whale watching boat. Now, it was one of those like skiff type deals, you know, like a Zodiac or maybe a little bit larger. So this guy was out there, his wife and the experienced whale watcher. I mean, she's been doing this for like 20 years or something. So they're out there off the coast of San Diego, and the whale watcher, they brought him to an area where there were a lot of blue whales schooling or doing whatever they do. And he had like you could see the image because they had like a GoPro mounted to the boat. So you see him standing on the bow of the boat, and he's taking pictures. He's got a really expansive camera. It's got like the lens upon lens upon lens. He has like
like those sports lenses,
transformer or lens. And so he's taking video or taking shots, and then he goes, "Oh my God!" And then all of a sudden he's trying to hold the camera up. And I saw an interview with him later. It's like, well, I thought, I better do what best I can. But if I can save the camera, I want to save the camera.
Whatever.
So he's like, you see him like lurching forward to try and stabilize himself, and he's trying to hold the camera up. He got some pictures, but in the you see the GoPros like doing this number, and all of a sudden the boat just literally goes up and flips over, and so it's all upside down, and he's trying to hold it, and so they showed one of the snapshots he got. I mean, all you see is the gaping mouth of the blue whale coming up on the boat. So I'm like, wrong place, the wrong time.
Yep, tell me about it.
So it was messed up. But that's an experience you just, he'll be telling his kids about. Yeah, it's on video, sort of.
Sort of. That's, and when those kind of things happen, I mean, and you're able to walk away from them, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're lucky.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, so the title of the episode is Challenging But Worth It, and that's homage to the class that we just had.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to Cheyenne, to Winston, Wesley, and Jacob.
Yep.
Winston and Cheyenne, brother and sister, and then Jacob and Wesley are two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They successfully completed the open water class. So and it was challenging because unfortunately the weather leading up to the class had a lot of misty, rainy days. So we got a lot of water that was brought into the lake.
Right.
So it's the lake wasn't in too bad a shape as far as level. It was easy to access the area.
Yes, it was.
But unfortunately, when you have that kind of rain, and we talked about this on a previous episode, brings a lot of silt, kicks a lot of that up, and visibility was
Not bueno.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And then also, it had been windy all week, which is just as bad. It just kicks up to everything. It agitates the water. But so, trying to, the pool work went fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne was dealing with some equalization issues even in the pool. So obviously that was going to be something I had to watch for out at the lake. And it turned out to be actually a challenge not just for her, but also Winston. Winston had a little bit issues with equalization. So we had to, that slows things down. But, all these kids were absolutely persistent.
Yes.
They were determined to do it, and if they weren't gonna give up, I wasn't gonna give up. I never push anybody. If they get to a point where they just can't do it, no harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm.
Better safe, better healthy, no damage than to let your pride get in the way and make you do stuff that's dangerous or painful.
Correct.
So couple of very, very late evenings for me getting done with the necessary exercises and dives, but they did well in spite of really, really horrible visibility.
Mm-hmm.
And for Winston and Cheyenne, the big payoff was this week they were going on their trip to Cozumel.
Right.
And their mother, Natasha, who was already a certified diver, she was like, this is going to be awesome for them.
Right.
And got a text from Natasha today. They were in the Houston airport and waiting, obviously, for their connecting flight to San Antonio. And so she shared just a couple of the pictures that they had taken. Because they
cool.
they brought an underwater camera with them.
Yeah,
like a video camera, which was pretty cool. But matter of fact, let me pull up slideshow. So here we are. You can see that it was kind of a rainy day, a drizzly day.
Hey, those are the photos I took with your phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you to Scuba Bob for doing a good job taking pictures so I could concentrate on the class. But here you see the students prepping for one of the several dives that they have to go through in the pool. And getting all set up, ready to take the proper position for doing the deep water entry.
Mm-hmm.
And another shot there. Dive buddies helping each other out.
That's right.
Interestingly, Cheyenne hates pink, so her brother got the pink fins.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask him what's with the pink fins, but I didn't want to go.
Yeah, Cheyenne hates pink.
Oh wow!
And meanwhile, her outfit was. I really thought her outfit was cool looking. Winston's suit was a front zip. I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. I hadn't heard of the manufacturer of that wetsuit before, but they found it online, I think, somewhere. And here they are after having completed the certification. They all got their temporary cards all ready to go. So Cheyenne and Winston there on immediately to my left were getting ready to go on their trip the following week.
Yeah.
And so
and she was the oldest one of the whole bunch.
Yeah, she was 20. Cheyenne was 20. And Winston was 13, 14. So here was that's got to be Cheyenne, because I'm sure it was that was her mom taking the picture. So, and of course no filter. So when you get down there, the spectrum, you lose the spectrum. So the camera, obviously going to take a lot of blue hues, but there she is with her. This is her first saltwater dive. So
awesome.
And doing good. I mean, she's keeping control. Look at that. She's got good buoyancy control. I asked Natasha how things went as far as the ear, and she said, well, it was a little slow getting down at first, but every dive got better.
Oh wow.
And I told her that. I told her in the pool. I said, as you dive more, your ears, you'll get more attuned to what your body's doing. Your ears will get used to you doing this. You and I can rocket to the bottom.
Yeah,
because we can equalize constantly.
We
the whole
drop
time.
straight down.
Yeah, and even on a head first dive, which is actually tougher, but but it gets easier as you do it.
Yeah.
So good job for her. And then just a couple more pictures. They got a good close up of a turtle. It's too bad they didn't have a filter or at least a light.
Yeah.
Where they could light it up, and probably didn't occur to them to actually use a light during the day. Because obviously she has a light on because Natasha went on her first night dive
Wow.
and got a good shot of
The Maury.
the moray.
That is awesome.
That is a great shot.
I mean, look at that. She just got certified a week ago, and
no,
bang.
this was Natasha. This is the mom.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, she just, they just got certified, and look at what they're experiencing, folks.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's a good shot. I mean, that was. And this is the low resolution version she sent me because it was a text. But,
okay. Yeah.
And then one more. They saw a number of nurse sharks. So good
Cool.
on them. So good job. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Obviously, the more distance you have, the harder it is to get a good, unless you can stay stable. In this kind of area, you actually could nestle down into the sand, not damage anything, and get a more stable shot. But still, it's exciting to go out there and going from never having done it to experiencing that. See, folks, that's worth it. All of this is so much excitement, fun, to make it worth the challenges you may put yourself through in getting certified.
Right. During the time when I was filling tanks when we were out at the lake, I did talk to Cheyenne.
Oh yeah.
And I was telling her, I go, "What did you think?" And she was like, "Well, I'm a little nerved because I can't see." And I told her, "You know what? If you can learn to dive here, everything else is going to be gravy for you because visibility here is really not all that great."
Right.
But if you like, for us, we dive here a lot.
Yep.
So whenever I do get a chance to go dive somewhere like, say, Bon Marais, where the water's crystal clear, it's like I'm relaxed. It's like no effort whatsoever. Of course, you never forget your skill sets. But you don't have to worry about, I can't see that much because you can see everything and it's so relaxing.
Right.
So, and she was like, "Oh no, yeah," and she totally understood that and was real cool about it. So yeah, congratulations, guys. Good job. I know that it was a long day, so the sun was getting the best of. I know it got the best of me and got the best of Troy a little bit. We actually had to take a little break, but. It was cool. Their parents were awesome. They were hanging out.
They were entertaining.
They were so entertaining. And I was talking to Cheyenne's mom, Natasha, and I was like, her accent, and she was like, "Well, I'm from South Africa," so that just like totally was so cool, But she, everybody, they were extremely nice, and thank you for the candies and stuff that y'all handed us because. Our sugar was dropping by the end of the day, so thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty warm, especially Sunday got even hotter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was over 100 index. It was
but,
pretty
it was hot. But then when we got into water, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Very glad to have the 5 mil full.
And I even mentioned to you, I'm like, what's the matter with those kids over there at the other end? They were jumping off, and they're just like, in, shorts. They were swimming in the lake. The lake is cold.
Yeah, but, they're going shallow. So it was a little bit warmer at the surface, and they were going to be getting out of it and be
in the sun,
dried off and warm really quick. But we were going to be in the water for a long period of time, and going deeper. So it gets colder.
When you went off with Cheyenne by herself because she was having the equalization problem, I stayed on shore, making sure that the other I can't remember his name didn't go down.
Yeah,
and I actually was leaning on the rock. And I think Troy saw me, but I ended up like falling asleep with the waves. I was like that. I was like rocking back and forth, hanging onto a rock, just waiting for you to come back. I think I dozed off. I think I took like about a 2-minute power
nap.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then their father, the boy's father, man, he was hilarious. I was getting a kick out of him. He was such a cool guy. He noticed me. He goes, "Are you falling asleep over there, son?" And I was like, "I think so." I go, "It's like being on a waterbed."
Yeah, no kidding.
I told him. He goes, "I bet."
It was a lot of fun.
It was cool.
I have to admit, this was one of the more challenging classes I've had, but absolutely worth it. Having obviously it's a requirement for PADI requirement that the parents are there for youth getting trained.
Right.
But it's invaluable for them to be able to obviously help control the kids when they get a little rowdy or out of hand. But also to see the different challenges their kids are going through. Because kids will have a tendency to kind of mask through humor or sarcasm when they're kind of uncomfortable with something.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to where I can pick that up, but it's good for the parents to see that in the environment that they're going to be experiencing, so that when they take them out on a regular dive, once they're certified, they'll be better apt to tell, oh, okay, I've seen this kind of behavior before, and I know what brought that on before.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be ready to deal with those things. So really appreciate the parents taking a very, very active interest instead of just sitting there reading a book or whatever while their kids are going through the class.
Right. You know, did they know each other, the families?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, both families live in Campwood.
Oh, okay, because I was like, the way that they were talking to each other, I was like, even Troy and I were like looking, I'm like, okay, I know they're not related, but
Yeah.
they must know each other. And Troy's like, I would think so, you know, because the way they were talking.
Yeah, what's interesting is Natasha is certified, but her husband not interested.
Okay.
The Jacob and Wesley's dad certified, but the mother not interested.
Yeah.
Although she was very active, involved in the training, but she was like, no, that's not my thing.
Yeah, no. She
like,
even
wow.
said no. Yeah, we were talking when we were at the apartment when we were doing the pool work. I think she was telling Troy something about that.
Yeah.
That, no, you know.
I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So congratulations, lots of hard work, very challenging, but and they absolutely have enjoyed their trip. I'm anxious to see more pictures, and you know, obviously living in Campwood, it's kind of hard for them to get over here, but I'd love to have them all come on to the show and
Yes,
just kind of
definitely.
share some of their experience and just help encourage other people who are like, oh, I don't know, maybe it'd be tough to do that. But it's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
No.
Okay, as we wind things down here, I just want to throw, we've kind of talked about before, but I've never actually promoted some recommended reading. Two magazines that we read in the Wade household are Sport Diver magazine and Scuba Diving magazine. You don't have to get both subscriptions, and they do have online versions, but I can't say enough about how these are very helpful as far as they have a lot of great reviews of gear.
Awesome magazines.
Yep, and great pictures. A lot of good hints on if you're into underwater photography or videography. They have great articles on how to maximize your shots in different conditions, how to do lighting. I mean, there's so many helpful hints. Bits of history are in here, lauding new works, new tech, new research in diving and the diving environment. They're a little bit on the, how shall I say, not quite environmentalist wacko side of the house, but they're big on the carbon footprint and all that stuff, which I don't buy into. But, you know, you take the bad with the good. But two very good magazines to at least consider. And also, if you happen to be a member of Dan, you get the Alert Diver magazine, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I love that magazine.
And I was just about to say that. Good thing you mentioned it, because if you are a certified diver, or if you're not a certified diver, it doesn't matter. If you're into some kind of the medical field or just, you know, just things in general as far as health are concerned, everything. The Divers Alert Network, Dan, is an awesome. It's an awesome entity to be a part of. Yep. The fee it's per year, and it's not very expensive, like $35.
Right.
And you get I think it's a quarterly magazine, or is it every week, every month?
It's bi-monthly.
It's bi-monthly. Yeah, I'm sorry. And there's a lot of information on there. You also get little things as far as, you know, first aid is concerned and stuff like that. For me and Rob, there we are CPR instructors as well.
Yep.
I find that extremely beneficial because I do CPR training for different people. So some of the information that's on there is actually beneficial for me to be able to kind of encourage the students whenever I'm doing a class about situations and stuff like that. Of course, there are more dive related issues, but there's other material that's on there that's really, really beneficial. So if you are a diver, then it's well worth getting the paying the fee to get that. Become a member of Dan. Of course, they're not sponsoring us or anything. It's just us telling you,
it's worth it.
It's it's worth it. Besides, you get insurance, so that's a part of it.
Yep. Matter of fact, we just renewed ours for our trip coming up, so make sure we're covered.
So yeah, it's awesome. If you are a certified diver and you're not a member of Dan, shame on you.
Yes.
You need to be a part of Dan.
Now, also a recommended site that I just came upon this week is diveshirtsonline.net. Now, this site's pretty cool because they got tons of shirts, stickers, that kind of thing. I'm like, okay, and a number of these that you will see, a number of these shirts, etc. You'll see at various websites as well as dive shops. If you go on your trips, you'll see a lot of these shirts are available. There, you see they have sunglasses that have like the dive flag on it. Some mask, strap. What do you call these? It's not the strap itself. It helps get the strap on because a lot of these straps are all rubberized plastic and can get tangled up in your hair. So these are a stylish way to kind of cover. It's a cover for the back part of the strap, so it's easier to get them on and off. Tons of great shirts. They have really stylish swim shorts, swim briefs. You can get various dive logs. Let me tell you, if you're not maintaining a dive log, you really are messing up. And you can be stylish even maintaining your dive log because you can get these various dive log 3-ring binders for them.
That's like mine.
Which one?
I have the dive flag binder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's see. I think I saw the one that I have in here. Let me go to
the one with the eel. Is that the one you have?
Yeah, but there's a couple of different ones with eels. Let's see. Is it Aquatic Addiction? See, they have these different brands. I definitely want to get some stickers. Matter of fact, here's the one I want to. Where is it? Oh, it's not there. I like the kind of aged circle one there.
Yeah.
Where did I see it? You can go by. Where is it? Stickers. Here we go. A lot of different stickers. The one I want is right there. Texas flag. That's what I want to get.
Yeah. You don't have one of those?
I have what's left of the dive club one. It's on the back of my car.
Oh, okay.
But now that we've got Tara's vehicle, we don't have a flag on it. So we've got to get a flag on there.
I got a couple of them there. I'll bring one to you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're actual window stickers, and they're not like bumper. Okay.
They're the window stickers.
Okay, cool.
They're the ones that go on the outside.
Yeah.
They don't go on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to bring one, I'll be happy to christen our nitro with that.
Gotta do it.
Uh-huh. Now, let's see if I can find the... Here we go. This is the one I have.
Yeah, that's one you have.
I love that one. It gets people looking at... They take the first look and they're like, is that an eel? And then they look at it like, wait a minute, do they get that big? I'm like, no, they don't get that big.
Yeah, you swim inside its mouth.
Yeah. But they have a number of... See, here's the other one. That's pretty cool, too. But got dogs back behind me. I sit on the edge of my seat while I'm doing the show because at least 2 of our dogs always insist on being up there. But they have a number of different, I guess, sub-brands and styles. They got dive shades. They're pretty cool. Number of different things. So it's not just shirts that they sell.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is nice. I'm like, man, I could spend some serious money on a place like this. So, even jackets and sweaters and things like that for if you're diving in cooler weather and let's see, Uzi amphibious gear. I love that hat. That is awesome. So lots of Lots of variety.
Yeah, you gotta send me that link.
Well, it's on our website now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, diveshirtsonline.net. A great resource for tons of great stuff that you can buy, wear, carry, etc. Man, somebody's driving around with a boom car. You can get dive lights.
Wow.
Nice. A dive light.
A dive light.
A dive light. Let's see. Dive knives. They have anything really cool. Oh, man, that's stylish. I prefer the blunt edge one, the blunt point ones.
Right.
So that you don't accidentally stab your BC as you're trying to put the thing back in. Now, this looks like this is a ankle strap type. Yeah. But
well, it's like the knife that I got from you for Christmas that one time.
Yep.
That thing, I'm afraid to use it because it's like razor sharp.
Razor sharp.
Yeah, that thing going in wrong or something is gonna slice up my suit.
You don't want that. Nothing worse than poking yourself or your BC with a pointy knife and. Psh.
Of course, it has it's actually got the leg strap, so I would actually put it around my calf. Yeah.
Yeah, or calf. Yeah. So listen, I don't even think I updated our administrivia. Nope, because I don't even have the right date for the next dive club meeting. But, and we just finished the June class. So the next class that we have up is 24th through the 27th of July. And I already have a couple signed up to do that one.
Cool.
So, from Lakey. I'm getting them from
all
way
over.
out there now. And then we got one August 28th through the 31st, and then September 25th through the 29th. And we're going to be lining up at least one date for sure, going to Balmoral. So stay tuned. We're going to be putting that up there as well. You can get air fills at Broke Mill RV Park. Just go see Mike McCarson out there. Give him a call at 830-719-2935. And you can always check out our website, delriodiveclub.com, or see us on our Facebook page, Del Rio Dive Club, or message us on Skype, TGWD, and we will respond. Or guess what? You can send email to either one of us. If you send email to Scuba Bob here, just send it to rsgarza821@yahoo.com, or follow him on Twitter. I encourage you, follow him on Twitter at rsgarza435. Same here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, just look for Robert CFP, or send me email, robert.wade@cetifox.net, and we will respond. We do not have people that read our mail and then respond back to you with generic stuff. We do it personally.
Yeah, we like our fans.
We do.
So,
we really do.
We're the president of our own fan club.
That's right. We're the president of each other's fan club.
I'm the president of his. He's the president of mine. So it works all the same thing.
And anytime we're doing the podcast, if you're watching it live, there's a chat room in there, and we would love to interact with you. There'll be a little bit of delay because of the way Ustream works. When what you're watching is usually anywhere from 15 seconds to even up over a minute delay. So you may see something that we're talking about or hear something we're talking about that you comment on, but because you're seeing it up to a minute later.
Right.
It may be a little bit before we react to it because you're seeing it later than we actually did it. But don't lose heart. We will, as soon as we see your comment, because we're always watching the chat room here. So if you say something on there, we will definitely entertain it. Even if we have to go back in time to do it,
absolutely.
We'll do it. So we like to interact with you.
We look forward to hearing from you out there in the cyberspace. So please reach out and touch.
That's right. That's right.
And
okay, so let's see what's going on next weekend. Anything new? I think we'll be back on our normal schedule.
Cool.
So listen, we always enjoy having you guys with us, even if you're just watching us on YouTube. And we just have a blast doing this, even if only one person is catching it. But we just have a blast with it. We're up to 107 episodes already. Hard to believe it.
How time flew.
That's right. But we're looking forward to seeing you next time on another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive. See ya.